Showtime really has been doing a great job with boxing. Like it seems like HBO it's like you guys have kind of switched. What do you think has been the difference in the two networks? Like how do you think you've been able to kind of take over as the #1 spot for boxing?
Well, it's really trying to do the best fights possible. And that's always our goal. But it also requires the cooperation of a lot of other people. Managers, promoters, fighters. It requires avoidance of injuries and timing of venues. So in some senses there's so many moving pieces, it's almost a miracle anytime any major fight actually gets made. But I think what we saw, at least with our schedule so far, is that everybody got on the same page and said, look, we're going to do a really strong run of boxing to elevate our sport, to elevate each individual guy. And I think the good thing about having a lineup like this is it's the rising tide that lifts all boats. One big event makes the next event bigger, makes the next event bigger. And fighters are competitive. They watch these fights. So if one guy is, if Leo Santa Cruz is taking, the Frampton fight and Sean Porter is taking the Thurman fight, well, fighters are competitive and they want to take the tough fights too. So that's how we end up with a string of fights the way we have this early 2017.
Has the PBC business model helped out with that? Just with the way that the promoters now work together a little bit differently than in the past?
It has. I mean, it's also created some conflicts because not everybody is, works. PBC doesn't work with everybody, and vice versa. But in some ways, it's made things simpler because it has removed some of the other barriers and conflicts.
You guys have a lot of fights coming up. What's the biggest fight that Steven Espinoza is looking forward to? Obviously, I know you like all of them,
right?
But which one is at the top of your list right now?
Well, I'll highlight a couple. I mean, obviously, everyone goes to Garcia Thurman because that's sort of the marquee fight. I think Mikey Garcia versus Zlaticanin on the undercard of Frampton, Santa Cruz, is a really fascinating fight. It's
underrated.
Sort of a sleeper fight.
Yeah.
People may not know Zlaticanin very well, but he's a little pit bull. He is a come forward, high energy guy. Punches really, really well. There's a lot of risk for Mikey in that, and it says something. Says a lot about Mikey that he took that fight so quickly after his layoff. The other one I would say is to watch carefully. Another sleeper is Broner Granados. Granados, you look at his record, you say 4 losses, and you think, okay, this is a tune-up type fight. Then you look at the 4 losses, you say they're all split decision. Combined record of those guys, was 72-1, and you start to see, look, this is a high-quality boxer with some really close, tough losses to legitimate guys. He doesn't stop. He comes forward. He's a little bit in the sense, almost a Marcos Maidana, not exactly the same style, but high activity rate, really aggressive, really rough. And we, of course, saw the Maidana style gave Broner a lot of trouble. So I think that fight will be, more competitive than people might assume.
You mentioned Garcia Thurman. Is the venue finalized yet? Can we say that on camera?
It's 99.9% Barclays, which is where it belongs. Both guys have fought there before, and they established a fan base, and Barclays has really earned it with the fan base that they've drawn. It has really become a destination for some exciting fights. So I think it's the perfect place for that fight to happen.